How has dance changed my life? My life is dance. From a small child, I've been dancing, and for it to have changed my life, I have to know what it was without dance and then what it was with dance. Well, maybe I studied accountancy in New Zealand, the University of Auckland, and then I worked with Price Waterhouse for a period of time. In these periods, I really felt like a square in a round. I didn't feel I fitted in. And when I went into dance, just plunged into it, not even thinking how I'm going to earn, what's the livelihood, what's a roof above my head. I just felt like fish to water, so natural. And so it's just been a calling from then, from a child. So it's hard to answer that question, because to know the change, for some of us it's a compelling calling. So it's just a natural way of life. Yeah, things have changed, and I think that is the nature of time. The nature we call in Sanskrit Kalakrama, the cycles of time. What was the dharma in the time of Lord Rama is not the dharma in the time of Lord Krishna. It changes. And nothing has to be romanticized too much. But having said that, sometimes we romance the past, the glorious past, the glorious past. But that glorious past was also a present at some time. The Guru is indispensable, whatever you miss, because that is a principle that abides. And the Guru brings the tradition which you can link to the Almighty, ultimately. The Guru Shloka says, Dakshina Murti Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyama Asvatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. The Guru Parampara comes from Dakshina Murti, Lord Shiva. And Adi Shankara is in the middle, and then Asmat, my own Guru, stands. This is of course for the spiritual Guru, but also in the dance and music, which is semi-spiritual, semi-religious in a way. The Gurus also stand as they hold the art on one hand, the fullness of the art, and they hold the disciple on the other hand, and they try to pull the disciple up to the art. That they stand as a harbinger, or like a intermediary. So the Guru is very important, and in the ancient times, the way they live in a Gurukulam, to live in the teacher's home, and then you learn the art in a kind of a complete comprehensive way by serving the Guru. There is a certain punya karma that comes by service to the Guru. From that service to the Guru, by looking after his personal needs and so on, the karmas that come facilitate the learning of the art form in a very quick way. Today we live in a society which dance is learnt as a subject once a week. And if they miss the class, it's once a fortnight. If they miss 2 classes, it's once in 3 weeks. So it is a little removed from life. It's that tad bit alienated. So the learning becomes pocket learning, and it learns in terms of quantifiable, in terms of fees. And it becomes like a subject like maths and geography and so on and so forth. When in actuality, it is more a semi-spiritual form which requires a comprehensive learning. So the learning has changed into subject learning, and especially for dance, we find it very hard for students to motivate themselves to practice in their own homes. Practice is so vital for any form of art. Music is easier because you can carry your voice in the bathroom, in the bedroom. You can carry a mridangam to a small place and still practice. But dance, you require space. And your whole body has to be energetic, fit to dance. Pull up your body is lazy to pull up your body to dance. So the whole instrument is your body. So this way, the once a week class is difficult. And today, with the pandemic, it has become online classes where I can't even adjust the hand of the student through the lens of the screen, computer screen. So it is removed. So the learning has become alienated from the traditional way of learning. But here at the Temple of Fine Arts, we try to, during the Arangetra period at least, for the students to be with us for the full part of the day. So the early morning they are here to do a puja on the 6th floor, where we do a puja for Nataraja. Then the whole 48 days, almost like a mandalam, we try to live the Gurukulam life without staying here, but being exposed to the teacher's influence the whole day and night. With a little bit of yoga, a little bit of practice, a little bit of exposure to a life. And that 48 days of an experience lingers with the student as a samskara. It sticks as a kind of a cultural, spiritual trait that is built in their psyche, in their whole makeup of their personality. So that is the difference, Hard to say. There are some plus points, but there are still I am a stickler to the tradition. So the pandemic has, I believe that everything is done by the divine hand. God designs everything. Even this pandemic is in the divine will of things. It is His plan. It may be bad in our eyes, but in His eyes, He's got a plan in the bigger picture. Everything has a flip side. If we maximize the pandemic, we can use it to intensify our practice because we have closed our doors. So we have closed our distractions. So we can intensify practice period. We can intensify the learning period. I have opened up new classes during the pandemic online with international students from the US, from India, from Australia, and so on and so on. It has opened up a window of learning that is global. I have availed myself to lots of people who would have loved to learn from me, but I was resistant to Zoom learning or online learning prior to this pandemic. I was resistant to that. How is this possible? Talam doesn't work. But today I'm so adept at teaching that I've conducted many workshops with the pandemic. It has reached out to a large number of people out there who are thirsting to learn, to know. And it is time effective because if I say I'm starting the class at 9, where everybody is in at sharp 9, at 10:30 I have to sign out. So in that, there is no time to waste as in a normal class, and there is no travel time. There is all these things are not there. And I record my classes. The entire class is Zoom recorded, so there is no excuse for not. If you miss the class, you still have it online. You still have it as a video copy. And the students use that video copy to practice. So that has become a good tool. They've got a prop to practice with. They can still practice with the teacher in the video class. And then I want them to video themselves and send it to me, because so when they want to video themselves, they're that tad bit, they have to make sure it's correct. So they have to practice. So sir, my video is not very good. Can I do it again? So, they'll tell me this sort of thing, which is a good thing because all this never happened in a regular class. So you can say the pandemic is a bad thing. Of course, it is a horrible thing because we're all suffering from lots of fear and lots of disease, and we've lost many people. But on the flip side, in the divine plan of things, it has some positive spin-offs. It's how much we want to, in economics, it's called the opportunity costs. How much you want to weigh off one against the other. And then you can maximize that period to, necessity is the mother of invention, and that invention can be very creatively used if you are committed to the form. The arts, especially the Indian arts, we call it kala. Kala means rays, like Surya Kala, Chandra Kala. These are rays of the goddess Saraswati. Kalai in Tamil, Kala in Sanskrit. And Saraswati has 64 different Aya Kalai 64. So she has 64 different art forms that emanate as rays from her. And when we look at dance, it comes from Lord Shiva himself. He gives it to the sage Bharata. And so when we practice this form, we are actually connecting our traditions through our gurus, to our guru, to Bharata Muni, to Lord Shiva. So we are doing a Pataka Hasta. This Hasta was given by the great Lord Shiva to the sage, and the sage to the earth. So like this, when we practice the 7 notes, they have emanated from Saraswati's Veena or from Lord Shiva's 5 faces. So when we do this sadhana of Nadam or Nrityam, we are actually connecting without our knowledge with the supreme energy. So that Nadopasana or the Nrityopasana, it's called, the Upasana, makes you sit near the deity, that Omkar, that Lord Shiva, that Saraswati. We are slowly by the practice of our body, mind and soul, we are linking. So this is very important for our evolution as a society. That is the spiritual content of the art form. The art form comes through that spiritual channel. So when our children, without them knowing, they do not even know that they are learning something divine. Teacher, so beautiful, teacher, you are dancing. I really love it, so beautiful. When you do that pose, it looks like Shiva, you know, teacher. Teacher, when you sing, it is so nice, that teacher. They are mesmerized by the beauty of the teacher's voice, the way she's singing. That beauty is God, that beauty is Saraswati, that beauty is Lord Shiva. And then they are drawn to that. No? Then as they sing, they just, without knowing, Yantaro Mahanu, they are singing. No? Teacher, what does it mean actually? Teacher? Then, oh, like that. It means this. Wow, so nice. So they were drawn by the beauty of it. Then they find out the meaning. Then they are opened up to the spirituality of it, without their knowledge. That's the most beautiful thing. The most beautiful thing about the culture is, without our knowledge, we are elevating ourselves. And same with the audience that is watching. So beautiful. Wow, I just forgot myself, for 2 hours I just sat there. I was listening to her. I saw him dance. I saw her dance. I just lost myself. So this divine art is taking us, without our knowledge, to realms where our soul is supposed to go. The whole purpose of our existence is for that. So it's very important that the little that we have. The previous generation had that much. M.S. Subbulakshmi sang that way. Bombay Jayashree is singing this way. Tomorrow who's going to sing that way? It's picking up, the snowball effect. That time people danced only that way. Now you see youngsters are dancing so beautifully. It is snowballing. It is becoming sharper, better, more challenges are thrown, and they are hitting higher bars of excellence. So I think it's so important that the little that we have to pass it on. Naturally it will pass on. The beauty of the best way to pass it on is to practice it yourself. If you are practicing it yourself, it will be so beautiful. The younger people will look, wow, teacher is so nice. Can I learn like this? They will be drawn like this. You don't need to make an effort to deliberately propagate the form. By you sincerely practicing like a magnet, you will draw people to come to learn. That's what I feel. That's the process. I must thank Sugam for giving me this beautiful honor and title, and I hope that I'll be worthy of it. Whenever we are given awards, we are reminded that we have to work hard for it, continue to work hard for it rather, and not just rest on our laurels. And every award comes with a responsibility. That award shines because of the hard work that has gone behind those years of getting that. So hopefully these awards will inspire people, children and youngsters, that you got that award, so nice, Anna got that award. And it will inspire them to also strive for things higher, for excellence. That sort of a hope is there, the receiving of such. My simple word of advice to dancers is, do a little practice every day. The key word is every day. Do a little, don't do too much, because suddenly if you do too much one day you will break your body, then the next day you cannot dance. Or if you do too much, you cannot sustain that too much every day. The slow process of daily working will, your body will orientate itself, your knees, your ankles, your spine, everything will orientate itself to accommodate greater load as the days go. So that daily, day in, day out, 365 days of the year, half an hour daily, 45 minutes daily. The key word is daily. And if you can adhere to that, the sky is the limit. You can do so many wonderful and amazing things. So do a little, do it daily. Namaskar.